So here, this is the second lecture of the P block element, and I am going to discuss. I'll start with the group 15. So first of all, I'll write the elements. Which are the elements are there in a group 15? So first element is nitrogen, nitrogen. Second, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, that is Sb, and fifth is bismuth, Bi. Now, nature. If I want to talk about the nature of these elements, then whether they are metals, non-metals, then this is nitrogen is non-metal. Phosphorus is also a non-metal by nature. Then arsenic is arsenic antimony. Okay, these two things are metalloids. And this last is bismuth, which is poor metal. Now, how does this occur? Means occurrence in natural state. How do they occur? Occurrence like nitrogen will exist as a N2. This is gas. Phosphorus will exist as a P4. This is solid. And this arsenic, antimony, and bismuth will be in the elemental form. And these things are also in a solid form. Next property, here we learned about the nature and the occurrence. Next property, we will learn about the electronegativity. So electronegativity is the tendency of an element to attract share pair of electron towards itself in a covalent bond. This is what we know from our previous studies. So here, now first of all, we have to understand electronegativity. I will just write E dot N dot is inversely related to the size size of the atom. Means as the size increases, electronegativity decreases. Since it is dependent on the size, that is inversely related to the size of the particular atom. So as we go down the group, like if I want to say that a nitrogen, then phosphorus, then arsenic, right? Arsenic, antimony, and bismuth. As we go down the group, the atomic radius increases. This is a common trend for all the element, right? Atomic radius keeps on increasing. So, so also the electronegativity will decrease as we go down the group. So next is allotropy. Third is allotropy. Here there is nothing to explain much. So except except nitrogen and bismuth do not show, like nitrogen bismuth. This is an exception. Nitrogen bismuth do not show allotropy. Like other element like phosphorus. Phosphorus will exist as a red phosphorus, white phosphorus. These are allotropes of phosphorus. So rest all the elements will exhibit allotropy, whereas nitrogen and bismuth do not show any allotropy. Next property is Property number 4, that is isotopes. We know what is isotopes. Atomic number having same atomic number but different mass number. All have isotope. All these elements have isotopes. All have isotopes. Then atomic radius. This is a common trend. Atomic radius means as we go down the group, like nitrogen to nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and bismuth, nitrogen will have the smallest radius. Means from top to bottom increases. The reason is why uh, electrons are being added to the new shells. Okay, then the sixth property I will write a density. What is density? Density is equal to mass upon volume, and this increases from top to bottom, because as we down the group, mass and volume also increases. Next two important properties we will be discussing here is melting point and a boiling point. Melting point. So first I'll discuss the dependence. Okay, trend let us learn later. This melting point depends on packing efficiency. Okay, packing efficiency. In general, if I want to say melting point increases, it increases from top to bottom, top to bottom. This is what the thing. But there is an exception. Okay, whenever there is a inorganic chemistry, there is an exception. Exception is what? Melting point increases, melting point increases till arsenic. Okay, that there is a nitrogen, there is a phosphorus, arsenic, then antimony and bismuth. So melting point will increase till arsenic. Then the melting point will again start falling. Let us understand a reason. And melting point increases till arsenic, then starts decreasing, then decreases. Means reason, reason I will write that antimony, like antimony and bismuth. If you see its position, antimony and bismuth uh, has has almost similar sizes, has almost similar sizes due to introduction of the due to introduction of D and F block orbital, D and F orbitals. Now, how? This is also called as a lengthened contraction. Lengthened contraction means if you see the position of these uh, two elements, okay, just write it here. The position of these two elements, should fit it here. I've just written it here. So this is nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, sorry, arsenic, antimony, and bismuth. So these are the d block element. Like here there is a filling of the d orbital, and because of the lengthened contraction, the size of these two atoms are almost similar, and that leads to the decrease in the melting point and depends upon the packing efficiency. So this is the thing. The next thing about this thing is a boiling point. Seven. This was the eighth. This is the eighth property I'm writing. Boiling point. So boiling point, um, on what factor does it depend? Okay, depends on following factors. Okay, first factor is Van der Waals force. Van der Waals forces. Second, hydrogen bonding. This will be hydrogen bonding will be basically in the molecules like water and all. So here it doesn't apply over here. Hydrogen bonding. Then the third is polarity. Okay, if there is a presence of any electronegative element and there is a formation, there is a polarity in the molecule. So these are the main factor. Now, on what factor does a Van der Waals force depend? This depends. Van der Waals force depends on atomic size. More is the atomic size or the molecular size, more is the Van der Waals force. So what we can conclude here is that a boiling point is um, directly proportional to the uh, atomic size, or boiling point is directly proportional to the Van der Waals force, right? So what will happen as we go down the group, the atomic size increase, so Van der Waals force will be high, right? So boiling point is going to increase. So boiling point increases from top to bottom. Means if you compare between nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth, then bismuth will have highest boiling point compared to the other elements of the group. Next is bond formation. Bond formation. Now, if I talk about this, nitrogen is forming a triple bond with another nitrogen. Then this is a pi bond, right? This is another pi bond, and this is sigma bond. So basically, it forms is a p pi bonding. P pi and another p pi bonding is used. Means why I'm calling this to be a p pi. If I just write a electronic configuration, nitrogen's electronic configuration is 1s2, then 2s2, and 2p3. Like these are the three outermost electron in the p. Means it will occupy px, py, and a pz, right? So whenever it is along a x-axis, along the internuclear axis, then one of the bond is going to form a sigma bond. This is pi bond, and this is the another pi bond. These electrons which are present in this x is going to form a sigma. This is pi, and this is another pi. So what I can say is that a nitrogen can easily form can easily form p pi p pi bonding. Okay, because of its no, p pi why it is possible? Because of its smaller size. Since size is small, the p overlap becomes easy in that case. Okay, therefore I will write therefore the formation of pi bond becomes easy. And means I can also write overlapping. Like p orbital is this, no? Like this is one of the p orbital. How the pi bond is formed. This is another p orbital. If the size of the atoms is small, then this overlap, this will overlap easily, right? This overlap is called as a p overlap. Okay, so overlapping of orbitals becomes easy, becomes easy. That is lateral overlap, the parallel overlap. Now, with respect to phosphorus, if you see a phosphorus, phosphorus forms such type of compound. Phosphorus, double bonded oxygen. Then let's say this is a POCl3. Okay, this is the bond. I can just write this structure in this manner also. Phosphorus I'll write over here, and this is double bonded oxygen. And let's say this is chlorine, chlorine, and chlorine. So here there is a presence of phosphorus. Here this is px. I'll say this is px. This is py, and this is pz. Right? Chlorine, 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 and phosphorus electronic configuration. If you want to write, then 15. This is atomic number is 15, so it is 1s2, then 2s2, 2p6, then 3s2, 3p3. This is third shell. Like if you go ahead, 4s and after that 4s and 3d, no? So there is a presence of a d orbital in a third shell. There is a presence of a d orbital in third shell. So there is a formation of a p pi d pi bond. Remember this. There is a formation of p pi and a d pi bond. See, this is although electrons are not there, but in the third shell there is a d orbital. Means over here I can say that this one bond is formed by d orbital of phosphorus and a p orbital p orbital of oxygen. This leads to the p pi d pi bond. Okay? This is the thing about the bond formation. So I'll end this class over here. See you in the next class where we will be learning the different compounds of the group 15 element. Okay.